What's up, guys? So yesterday went out of town on a job site, took my brother with me, and ended up coming home with a Corvette. Didn't tell my wife about it until obviously I got home and she saw it. She wasn't near as mad as I thought she would be, but anyway, I was just going to kind of give you guys a walkthrough on it and kind of see what you guys thought of the new toy on the channel. We can kind of go over everything. I have a build sheet on my phone. As long as I can record it and talk at the same time, I can kind of give you all a build sheet on it and kind of see where we stand on it. But super excited for this. Wanted a ZO6 for a long time. Just never could find the right deal. Everybody always wanted an arm and leg for these cars. Found it for relatively low mileage, and the things, basically every mod I want done to it is done to it, besides a few little things. But I'll go over it with you guys and kind of let me know what you'll think. I can't remember what the highest trim package was. I think it's a 3LT that they had in the ZO6 with the touchscreen and everything. Ton of mods to it. Carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber ZR1 splitters. Has a little bit of damage to the splitter from the previous owner. Around here, the roads are pretty bad, so that's not that big of a deal to me. Can't remember what brand wheels that he said these are, but they're custom powder coated, that bronze color. ZR1 side skirts here, carbon fiber rear wing. It's also ZR1, has the brake light in it. Actually, this whole rear bumper came off of ZR1. Aftermarket LED tails. See if I can get them to light up for y'all. Yeah. That's the only thing I don't like are the red tail lights on these Corvettes. So that's definitely a nice little add-on there. He blacked out the side markers. You can see there's the ZO6. Super excited. Pretty much this thing's a heads cam intake, build, Texas Speed headers, Texas Speed X pipe, and I can't remember what the name of the exhaust is. I have it on my notes here. I'll look at it here in a second, but some axle backs, some Mickey Thompson tires. They're actually, they're brand new. I had to drive it 150 miles home yesterday, and that was the most miles that these tires have on it. The owner just got the brakes and tires done at the same time. So as you can see, these Mickey Thompsons, I don't know what the life is on those, but it can't be more than a few thousand. Super soft tire. You can kind of just push it and see it flexing. show you guys the interior here before I get the build sheet out. Black interior. You know, all the touchscreen stuff, which that is aftermarket in there. So I don't know if he just didn't like the stock one or what the deal is. It has the heated seats. 6-speed manual, of course. Black on black. The only issue with the car, besides the front splitter that I found, is this little hold right here for the mirror is worn out. So, you know, you can adjust it to wherever you want it, but as soon as the car's on and shaking, it just falls down. You know, a little wear and tear on the seats, nothing crazy. Especially for it being an 06. I mean, these things are so dang low to the ground. This hood is like below my torso. Or I'm sorry, the roof is below the torso. I'll pop the hood here for you guys and see if we can. So it's heads, cam, intake, ARP, head studs, some ARP flywheel bolts, Haltech intake. Yeah, MSD full intake on it. Mighty Mouse catch can. Like I said, Texas speed headers. The cam that's in it, I can't remember. Let me see if this will stay recording. It's not gonna stay recording. I'll get the spec of the cam here in a second. I can't remember what it is, but it's a custom cam based off a stage 3 cam. So it's rowdy. It's honestly not the most driver-friendly cam. I kind of wanted to avoid that. The last Corvette I had was kind of the same way. The cam was just obnoxious. Made stop and go traffic really hard. And with where I live, there's not a whole lot of just open roads, but it's not too bad. I don't mind it. Car dynoed at 607. I kind of think that's a little high. I really don't think that the car makes 607 with the stuff that it has. I mean, pretty much the only thing that's stock on the car is the T56 transmission. It has a 1200 horsepower clutch. And then I'm pretty sure it's on stock injectors and fuel pump, but pretty much everything else, stock bottom end, but the whole top end of the motor is redone. And I want to say all the research that I've done, guys are making like 550 to 570 wheel horsepower with heads, cam, intake cars. I don't know, this is tuned on 91. We don't even have really 93 available out here. We're just now getting E85 stations, and a lot of guys aren't testing the fuel very high. A lot of the stuff has come back kind of low. There's some guys that are saying it's like E90 and some that are saying that it's like E70 something. So 91 is kind of the most reliable fuel source that we can get around here. Besides the fact that I don't want to put a whole flex fuel system on this thing to, and spend $1,000 and then, a few hundred more to get it retuned and everything, and then be relied on E85 to pick up like 15 to 20 more horse. I mean, I'm pretty sure if this car's making 600, that it's pretty maxed out. It should be power limited, not knock limited. So I don't think that I'm going to see a huge advantage at E85. I think you just get worse gas mileage and all that good stuff. But yeah, I have a little mount set up there on the window to put the phone in to do a little driving. Don't judge my driving. I haven't drove a stick car in 3 or 4 years. It's one thing the hood doesn't line up perfect is backyard insulation from the other owner, but I don't mind it. But yeah, the cam is pretty rowdy, so it's taking me a little while to get used to it, getting kind of the heel toe stuff back into play there. Especially a car like this, all the other cars I've had, like that supercharged Mach 1 and the other Vette I had, were probably the 2 fastest cars that I've owned. That Vette dynoed at 470 and the Mustang was at 530, which the Mustang was pretty heavy, so the Vette actually felt faster. And then this thing's at 607, so by far the most powerful car. that I've owned. I've driven a few Hellcats, but they're automatic, and the Hellcats are so heavy that they are fast, and you do feel like you're going fast, but they're so big and so stable almost that you don't get that same rush. And there's no doubt in my mind this thing would walk a Hellcat. I mean, 600 horsepower in a Z06 is, I don't even know what Hellcat's dyno at stock, probably like 630, maybe 650 if they're lucky. But they weigh 1,000 pounds more. I mean, I think this thing weighs 3,100 pounds, maybe a little bit more with, you know, the carbon fiber stuff, but some of the exhaust work is ripped out and lightweight wheels. So I really don't know what this thing weighs. I'd like to take it to a scale. I could probably get a video of that. There's an old cotton gin scale that's kind of on my parents' house that I may be able to swing it by and get a weight on it, just so we know kind of what it weighs. But yeah, other than that, we can, I'm going to take it. The only one of the other things is it had welds on it. The owner had welds on it. Well, he took the welds with him. He was trying to sell the car for quite a bit more money with the welds on it, and I just didn't care to have the welds on it. I didn't want a skinny tire up front. That's kind of, I wasn't trying to build like a straight up race car. And these wheels look great, I think. The color of it really makes it pop. It's pretty unique. I don't think there's another, I know for a fact there's not one here in Lubbock of a black Z06 with bronze wheels. So it looks sweet. All the carbon work and the carbon hood. Man, I'm just really happy with it. But yeah, it came with the welds, and then he put these on. Whenever he was putting these on, he actually knocked off one of the weights here. And so it has a little bit of a wobble to it, around 70 miles an hour, just from the wheels not being balanced. So and then the tire pressure sensors are not calibrated to this car, so it's showing that I have 2 rear flats. And so it pops up this warning like maximum speed 55 miles an hour to avoid handling or something like that, or handling loss or something like that. So I'm gonna run over to Discount Tire. There's a Discount Tire right over here, get them to recalibrate these sensors real quick and see if they can't balance these 2 front wheels. And if they're too busy today, I'll just have them redo the sensors. But other than that, man, I'm extremely happy with this car. For it being a black 2006 car, I mean, it's 14 years old. It looks flawless to me. I mean, the only thing that cosmetically is wrong with it, besides the little chip in the splitter, is right here. The owner had a blowout in it, and that is just paint crack. It's not even body damage. So hopefully that doesn't get any worse. But man, with that being the only thing, you know, I could use probably a paint correction just because of all the washes and stuff, and it's dirty right now. I mean, like I said, I've driven it probably 200 miles since I've had it and not washed it, and those highway miles, there's bugs all over it and stuff. But extremely happy with the car. A lot of people try to sell these things for so much money, and they're not in great shape. And this one's a fully built motor that I don't have to worry about, you know. The clutch is good, the stock transmission, but like I said, I'm not, there's no reason to beat on a transmission if you're not like trying to race anybody or anything. So as soon as until I get it down, the transmission is going to be babied. I'm going to get it retuned and re-dynoed by the shop here in town that I trust. It used to be called TES Performance. Now they kind of separated in their Lone Star Horsepower, I think is what they're called. This car is built by JS Performance out of Odessa. I just don't know anything about that shop. He's the one who did the motor and everything, and so far it's great, but I trust these guys over here, and I also want to try to get an accurate dyno number. I have the dyno sheet and everything, but it also said the car made like 486 stock. And I don't think that that's very accurate. I mean, these things come with 505 at the crank, so I think, you know, if it did do 486, then it's kind of like a factory freak. I mean, I don't think that these things made anything over 470 stock. A lot of the stuff that I've seen was like 460, 470 online. So if it did make 486 stock, then maybe it did make 607 with all this stuff done, but it definitely feels like it's that fast. I don't have a very good butt dyno. Like I said, the fastest car that I owned was that Vette, that C6. It was a 2008 C6, just a 6.2 liter, and it was not near this fast. But you know, 120 extra horsepower in a car that weighs this little, is a big difference. So I'll go ahead and start it up for you guys real quick, just so y'all can kind of hear it. It's not gonna be a cold start since I drove it over here, but at least y'all can hear the exhaust. This thing's louder than hell. That's one thing that's kind of not annoying yet, but man, on that 20 mile or 200 mile road trip, it was not fun. But here it is. So we're gonna see how well this window mount works. This phone may come back and hit me in the face. The cam was from Cam Motion. It was just set a custom cam from Cam Motion, so I have no idea what the specs on the cam were. The owner was supposed to get them to me, and I just haven't heard from him yet. So hopefully I'll get those to where I can at least have the specs. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to hear me with this. I'm kind of talking right into the phone, so hopefully it's not too bad. But also has a 102 millimeter ported throttle body. So I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what these things make with these kind of mods. I just kind of figured it'd be high 500s. I think 600, 607 is pretty generous. I talked to the guys at Lone Star Horsepower yesterday. Whenever I first brought it in, I swung it by them and kind of see what they thought about it, and they kind of said the same thing, that they think that may be a little high, you know, by 15 or 20 horse, but I don't care if it makes 600, I don't care if it makes 570, I don't care if it makes 550, whatever it is, this thing's fast. It's faster than anything I've owned in the past, and so I'm happy with it. I love the car. It's really rowdy. Can't exactly sneak out of the house with it. I'm just gonna go discount tower. It's just right up here. Get them to see if they can do anything. I'm sure y'all can see the sensor lights here. See if they can at least recalibrate those to where that's not driving me nuts. And then I'll see if they can't balance the wheels if they're not too busy. If they're super busy, I'm not gonna mess with it today. I don't really have a whole lot of time. The only thing that kind of sucks is right after I picked it up, I got it in Midland, Texas, and I don't know, you know, not very many people know about that place, but it's a huge oil field town, so the roads are just absolutely terrible. I drilled a pothole in this thing and smoked the underside, like basically hit the headers or where the X pipe is, and it pushed it up just a tiny bit. And these Vettes, they don't have a whole lot of space in between the X pipe and that aluminum shield that they have in the body. And so now it kind of, whenever it's cold, it wants to rattle a little bit whenever it's under load, so it doesn't sound as clean as it should. I don't know if you can hear that in the video, but it's the only thing that kind of sucks. But I'm going to do a little, well, there's too many cars in front of me for me to do a full really, but I mean, it definitely moves. From the exhaust. I don't know if y'all can really hear that inside the car. I'm gonna pop a UE up here and see if we can get into Discount's parking lot. I don't want to do this at an intersection of these people. Surprisingly, there's a lot of people out right now whenever we're kind of supposed to be in a lockdown, but should we go ahead and pop a UE right here? There's no cars. But I kind of thought the roads would be dead, and it's still quite a bit of people. I'll do a little pull right here for you guys. Definitely rowdy. Like I said, I don't know, I don't care if it makes 550, 570, 600. This thing is fast. I mean, it's by far the fastest car that I've ever owned. I'm gonna try to get some races lined up and see if I can kind of compare it to some cars that I know that are here in town. I don't know anybody that has any super fast cars, so it's gonna be a little difficult to get a run in. But anyway, I'm gonna run into the discount tire real quick and see if they can't do anything with these sensors real quick, and we'll get right back to it. All right, just finished up over here at discount. They recalibrated it for me, and still showing a little low, but I'm running the rears, you know, at 22 psi. Kind of help with traction a little bit. I don't know what these radials are like recommended to be ran on, or these Mickey Thompsons, but we'll kind of see how it treats it. Recommend to run these on, so I don't exactly know when that light's going to go off. I may have to put some more air in it, but at least they're calibrated now, so I know that they're working. Well, the guys at Discount Tire love the car, so that's badass. Makes you feel good. I'm going to go give this thing a car wash, and I'm going to try to find, man, if anybody's in this area and would like to run, I'd love to run and throw it up on the YouTube channel. I don't know, a lot of my buddies are just now kind of getting out of college and buying their houses, so none of my buddies really have cars to run. So I'm kind of just stuck on finding random people. If y'all know anybody in the area, you know, leave it in the comments, and we'll maybe we can work something out, get a few runs in and kind of see what this thing does. I already have a run lined up with a Hellcat that I think will be a pretty good run. I don't know if it's stock or not. I barely know the guy. The previous owner of the car said that his buddy wanted to run it, and he lives in Lubbock, and they just never got together. So we'll kind of see how that turns out. See where that's kind of going. I'd like to get it retuned and everything before I start running people, but of course there's a cop that pulls up right beside me. So yeah, anyway, man, if anybody knows anything or knows anybody that wants to run, that'd be awesome. I'd love to get something going with this car and kind of put some runs in on it. I'm just now really getting back in the groove of driving a manual again, so it may take me a while, and it's not going to be the cleanest of shifting or anything like that, so try not to wear me out too much in the comments about that, but we'll do our best. I'm going to pull up to the car wash right now. That tire light's still on, so it may stop at 25. I may just need to put 25 in it just to see if it'll go away. It's kind of annoying, especially if I'm not racing anybody. There's no reason to have lower tire pressures in the car. It's not that rough. But anyway, I'm going to stop and give it a wash, and we'll be right back.